Hey guys, cool. We're on now. Did you guys notice the crossfade with the music? Finally, you got around to doing that. Let me just post this on Twitter, and then we can kind of jump into things. And let me know how the audio is. Cool, so first of all, we're going to go through and kind of go over recent changes and updates. Most of the weekend I was just spent building this level. And I don't know if you guys remember last time we sort of went through and did the kind of the like overall blocking, and then over the weekend I kind of went in and actually filled in the details, like these windows are actually designed as opposed to just random lines. Yes, audio isn't zero. Yes, I've learned my lessons. I do the crossfade with the music, and I make sure the mic is on. And if the chat stops working, then I can always just bring in the the browser, the hack we discovered last time. So cool. Let's go to the sandbox level. Both Chris and David have added a bunch of really great things. The stuff that David's done is actually really awesome, because it basically lets me do the repeating geometry, but it doesn't. It always used to be restricted to a cube radius, basically, in that the axis had to be, it was the same distance along every axis, the same distance to the next instance in every direction. And now I'll show you guys, we've actually made it so I can customize each direction, and so it's like a vector 3. So that means I can have a very vertical level that's like, 600 from bottom to top and have that repeat, but they can all be very densely placed together. So first, we'll go over the update from Chris. He's basically finished the tree prefab models. So you guys might remember last time we had a bunch of problems with the tree material basically disappearing at the start of a level. It would be pink, and it turned out that was a ProBuilder issue, basically because ProBuilder generates all the assets in the scene and it's not really stored as an actual asset. So we've gone ahead and removed it, but then there was this problem where if you remove the ProBuilder script, then when you brought in the tree prefab, the leaves would no longer exist. So Chris says he has actual models cached from the finalized ProBuilder trees, because they disappear otherwise. So let's go ahead and check that. This is Bonsai Tree 001. Okay, we can use this plugin and go straight there. Okay, so that looks like it's all good. The other thing we've done is we've changed up the hierarchy within. Oh man, this should be at 0.25. The reason why that was set at 0.125, there was a problem. Hey, BTN Games, how's it going? Yeah, this is all in the editor, so this is not what the game actually looks like. So you guys will notice, like, what we had previously was we had, we got this tree, and then there are these objects called origin points. Those are the points where cubes are spawned from. Now, previously we used to have these origin points under the hierarchy of the tree. The problem there, and this is a Unity problem because there's no nested prefabs, was if you accidentally hit apply, then those origins now became part of the prefab of the tree, and it gets applied to all the other trees that are using that same prefab, which is not what I want. Because sometimes I want a tree to have 2 cubes growing from it. Sometimes I just want 3. Sometimes I want 2. Sometimes I don't want any. So what we've done instead is we've made it. You can see here there's a bonsai single combo. Well, we should rename this. We should just name it tree. But now underneath here we have the tree prefab, and then in the same level in the hierarchy we have the origin point. And so now if I want to make another tree, I simply duplicate this one. So I duplicate the entire combo, so that means there's no, there aren't any risks of me accidentally hitting apply prefab and then messing up not just that level, but possibly the entire game. You could always, revert the prefab in version control, but it's sort of better just to not make that a possibility. We did think about, I think last time Chris was on, we talked a bit about writing our own nested prefab tool, but it's one of those things where, I think it's a fairly commonly requested feature from Unity, and it's been many years and they still haven't added it. So I don't. If they haven't done that, it's like I don't think it's something easy to do. Hey, BTN Games, man, really sorry to hear about the stream dropping out. I'm gonna. I will keep it up on. It'll be on YouTube, but then also I will. I'll try to play around with it, with the settings a little more. After this, let me just respond to BTN and the chat. Cool, yeah, and if you guys are seeing problems with the stream, you guys can let me know. Wait, main GI, are you saying that, are you also having problems? Alright, so anyway, so we've changed that. So now, I can go down and change the, I look at this gizmo and I can see, okay, right, this is going to be orange. Okay, right. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that main GI is not having streaming problems. And yes, I will. I don't know why YouTube keeps putting all my videos in the travel category. I set the default to gaming. By the way, if any of you know that, if any of you know how to fix that issue, let me know. Okay, wonderful. It's good. It sounds like the stream is fine. Okay, so cool. So now I can change this to purple. So really wonderful. This is, anyway, I think it's like finally now we've got these things fixed. I can go ahead and start designing puzzles again. Let's go in and take a look at the level just to see if the cube materials are correct this time. Last time there were a bunch of... Oh, man! Alright. So... that is a problem with... Alright, I gotta talk to David about that. It looks like... Where is the World Wrap Manager? Yikes. Okay, so... Unfortunately, so we also did... I don't know if you guys just saw the, like, flickering there. We actually... will... yeah, I don't know if you saw the flickering. That's like... We made some changes to the Will Wrap Manager tool, and now it's kind of screwing up a whole bunch of stuff. I'll show you guys kind of where I can pinpoint that problem, but in the meantime, we'll disable that. So now there's no wool wrapping. Oh, cool. Now the trees are the correct color on default. Yeah, so it looks like we still have the problem with... okay, oh dear. So it looks like we still have the problem with tree cube material. So that shouldn't come back white. So first of all, if you haven't picked a cube off a tree before, it should look like this. So it should be the solid color, and then once you pick it off, it should grow back transparent like this. So I'm going to continue with our series of notes for Chris. Notes for Chris. Eventually I will publish this as a book and give it to Chris as a gift. 713. So cube on tree material, still not looking correct. Basically, you can see that the part of the cube that's inside the tree is the same opacity as the cube that's part of the that's outside as the cube part that's outside of the tree leaf. So cube on tree material, cube that hasn't been picked should look should have no transparency. Cube that has been picked should have some transparency. Both should appear in active states. Okay. Over here, let's check out the blue tree. I think these leaves also need to be brighter. I guess they're not as bright when they're not in the sun. Okay, right. So this is really what I'm talking about. It's that you can see the, yeah, that leaf color, the coloration is off. It should be lighter when it's inside the leaf, not brighter. Like this, no, this is incorrect. That's correct, I think. Right. Actually, both of these are incorrect. Okay, I think it might be an issue with the leaf material. Basically, like one of them, either the leaf or the cube material, one of them is being drawn on top of the other. Right, just a jarring gray wall. Sell the book on itch.io. Thank you for the suggestion, Tennis Red One. Hello, and thanks for stopping by. Yeah, no, the game wouldn't look like that with the funky colors because you can't actually deal with the mechanic. Alright, so it looks like we still have issue with the leaf material. I'll talk to Chris about that. But I think everything else is almost there. Let's also play around with, I think when it's... So you can change the emission values for the tree from here. Eventually, also what I like to do is connect it to a MIDI controller. So I've been using this as a way to like tweak values. So basically, instead of setting them in manually, I use this to tweak, and it's been incredibly helpful because the thing is, I was talking to Matt Bach. He works as Harmonix, as the creative director. I met him at GDC, and I was telling him about this technique, and he said it's actually really useful because a lot of times you input numbers that you think look good, so you'll put like 6, 3.5, 1.5, but really the value is something like the correct value. The value that looks best is like 3.1842. Well, that's pi, or it's starting to be pi, but kind of by using these knobs, it lets you. Oh, that's really nice over there. Kind of the way the leaf is being drawn on top of itself. That looks a little too busy, though. But maybe that's not a problem. Interesting. I do think the stuff on the cube itself actually needs to get fixed, though. But yeah, so right now the problem is that the plugin I was using for the MIDI controller didn't really work with the PlayStation 4 SDK, so I had to delete the MIDI controller. But it's one thing I want to actually start looking into that, so I can adjust values while I'm. Because what's also really great is then you can have someone using the keyboard and mouse to play the game, and then I can be on the side tweaking and like asking them if it feels better. Real Endersky, where did I learn all this? Just through, you know, looking at tutorials online and learning on my own. It's been, you know, I've been working on this project for almost 3 years now, and it started as a project to learn Unity. I wanted a project. I knew if I didn't have a project to work on, I wouldn't be able to learn Unity. You know, instead of just doing kind of like weird exercises here and there, I wanted to have a full-on project, and I thought it would take 3 months, and it just got way bigger than I had originally planned for it to be. Cool, so that's most of the updates. So I'm going to jump into the... so we still have the leaf and the cube material that needs to get fixed. And then after that, I think we should be good to start looking at water, having the trees grow, and then some of the other new mechanics that are not currently in here. I think Chris deleted them. Maybe it just got too busy. No, for some reason they're not showing up. What the heck? Weird. Interesting. For some reason, these are not being drawn, and I don't know why. The meshes are there. I wonder if it could be a problem with the. Oh, you know what it is? There we go. It's because the for some reason the default material is set, and this is also like. Ugh. I should talk to Chris about this shader. So you can see we've got this custom shader, but it has this problem where sometimes things just, like, it just messes up the draw order. So you can see these cues look totally, completely messed up. Really what should, you know, it should look like that, but yeah, but instead when it's this, it just the rendering order is all screwed up. Which just makes it the you know, I mean, it works fine at runtime, but the problem is that it makes it really hard to see when you're trying to build stuff. Oh, see, that's weird, because it only seems to be affected when it's in ISO. Ugh, okay. I'll talk to Chris about this. We might have to do something where it's like standard material during the editor, and then it gets changed to the other material during runtime so that I can actually look at this. Tennis Red, is the wrapping broken? The wrapping is kind of broken right now, yes. I will show you guys kind of in another level, because in this level I don't really need to do it, but I'll show you in another level where it's broken. We're gonna, you know, we'll take a look at it first thing tomorrow morning. Yes. Numerical references in the deep decimals of a number. Where in Talus would you find a number like 5.49? Everything is discrete in that game. Okay, so this is the level I was talking about. I will So you can see now I've got this, I can basically set the distance I want the repetition to occur, and then how many units in each direction, as well as whether I want to draw corners or not. But I'll show you guys now exactly where the wrapping is broken. Anyway, so this is I'm very, very happy with where the level is right now. We'll kind of go through like a more detailed. All right, cool. Andy James Adams, you take care. Thanks for stopping by, and hello, Ed Riofer. So you can see if I start to go towards the boundary, it's going to get messed up. So it's going to happen right now. Yeah, so basically we're not too sure what's going on here, but this is a bug. We just discovered it like at the end of the day, so it's not fixed yet. But if I kind of move back to where I jumped off from, then you can see it's more or less fine. So there was also a bit of a skip because we haven't quite gotten the oh, wait a minute, I know what's going on. Okay, hold on. So yes, the tower is pretty great, and I'm gonna kind of walk through this and talk about the changes that I've made, and also I'd love to get your feedback on it and what do you guys think. There are still some places that I'm still haven't fully decided yet, and also the interior of the tower hasn't been built, or hasn't really been filled in. So what I've got here is just this cube to help me line up this entire tower structure. The cube sits in the origin, because right now this is a little bit off to one side. Hi, Explosion! How's it going? Tyvin is king, hello. Explosion asks, he just came here, what is this game about? Give me 1 second and I will show you. We're just kind of in the middle of fixing this. It's basically like, if you've seen Inception, there's a scene where they fold pairs in half and start walking up the wall. So that's the core mechanic. You can rotate gravity, walk up walls. You can walk up any surface. So there's no objective up, there's no objective down. But then also the geometry of the world gets really crazy, so it wraps around in 3D. I'll show you in just a minute. It's a little hard to explain. Okay, so now I've got that centered. It should be, the wrapping distance should be actually 408. And now what I'm going to do is create the instances in the distance. We're also going to get rid of this step. Basically, instead of having this single drop-down button, like multiple drop-down buttons that all do variations of the same thing, there's actually just going to be this menu that pops up, and then I can select exactly what I want to do. Blue and all right. So check this out, Explosion. Now I'm gonna jump into the game. I'll show you. This is what the editor looks like, and now we're gonna go into game. Okay, so this is the game. So you can see this is what I mean. If I'm looking at the surface, I can rotate onto it. So you saw how those towers, so now green is my down. So now these are no longer towers, they're just kind of these beams that go on in the distance. And now if you look at this, we're kind of in this room, this area with a bunch of pillars. What I mean by the word repeating is I can actually jump off and the world wraps around. So we're gonna land back exactly, you can't see. This is the area with all the pillars again. And so what's really great about this tool, so aside from that bug where you see the flickering, you know, what I can do is I can adjust the distance. So like, let's say I really want to see what it looks like really far apart. Right, okay, so now this is what it looks like. And to me, I think this is not as powerful. Like, it feels a lot more lonely. It definitely feels a lot more sparse, but I think it's a lot more interesting when it's more dense. Let me guys know what you think. I definitely think so. This is with like 600. This is with the unit 600. I personally prefer it at 320. I don't know. I just think it's nice to be able to see sort of far more of the units.